Hello everybody, and before this video begins, I know this is going to come out of nowhere, like there was no clues, nothing to lead that I'd be remaking this series. Well, I want to remake this series because I made it like 6 months ago. My editing was not good, like as good as it is now. Sound effects were constantly out of place and whatnot. My narration was bad, everything was bad. So I'd figured to do this series justice, I'm going to remake it. Which means it might sound slightly different, like the text and everything. I've rewritten a good amount of it. But overall though, I reckon you guys should still enjoy it. Anyways, let's get into the episode that started it all. Part 1. I doubt this is the best way to put my unbelievable terror into words. But it's worth a shot. My name is Jake. I was working for a company which planned to head out to the abandoned Treasure Island resort to excavate and uncover secrets there. Disney blew $30 million on the place and just left it there to rot. Regardless, my boss Greg hired me to go over there and make sure everything is maintained. I'm low on money, you see, and he was kind enough to hire me. Although, I'm kind of concerned about the setting off to the island. I already deal with insufferable anxiety due to my parents dying when I was young. Oh well, I better not dwell on that. I have a job to do. I have just arrived at my office around 11:58 on the clock. So in the meantime, I checked around my cameras and the office so I could get a good feel of my surroundings. When the clock reached 12 AM, I received a call from Greg. He was going on about how his equipment hadn't been shipped out yet, so he was still waiting in Alabama for it to arrive. Then he mentioned something, a photo-negative Mickey Mouse costume that wanders around. As I thought this, I realised these weren't even phone calls, they were audio recordings. How weird. But I was slightly disturbed, but nonetheless I thought it would do no harm. But Greg mentioned that if that suit ever got into my office, I must shut down a camera immediately, and that the noise that came from it should lure the suit away from my office. He also mentioned that the suit cannot see, but it has good hearing, so I shouldn't make noise whatsoever. My leg began to jitter, and it became restless due to my new surroundings and worry setting in. How can a costume wander about on its own? And what would happen if I encountered it? A couple of hours went by, and nothing monumental happened. I was just clicking around, looking at the rotten sights around me. The place was quite dishevelled. The cupboards and doors were strung open, and still water covered the floors of the meat locker. I saw a Goofy costume lying on the ground, completely decapitated for some reason. However, when the clock turned to 2 AM, the true nightmares and terrors came into play. Greg was indeed correct. The suit was standing up in one of the rooms, its dull and vacant eyes staring right into the camera. My body tensed up at the sight, and my eyes scanned the room. That's when I discovered it wasn't alone. Right next to him was a Donald Duck head, facing the opposite direction. No sign of its body, however. But before I could get a better look at the costumes, the camera glitched, and the photo-negative suit was gone. I was beginning to become quite alarmed, but I attempted to reassure myself. That thing just wanders around. It can't cause any harm. I mean, it's not like it's possessed or anything. I looked through the cameras and saw that photo-negative Mickey standing in the meat locker. His head slightly tilted to the side. All of a sudden, I heard something or someone say, "Hey," in a deep and perverted voice. That made me jump back in fright, and I was slowly losing my cool. This was starting to become too much for me. The camera went to static, and the suit had vanished yet again. However, that was not the worst of it. As I put down the camera, the suit was staring right at me. Malice and hunger stained its vile face. I heard it say,
"Wanna see my head come off?"
However, before anything happened, I immediately flipped up the camera and turned off the meat locker feed. And luckily, the suit slipped out of the office and went elsewhere. It was 5 AM. I had just an hour left on my shift before I could depart this horrifying place for the night. That suit was just wandering through the cameras into the hallways, its blue head leaking small droplets of yellow blood. It was 5:59, and before the last minute was up, I heard a massive bang above me. But how? It couldn't have been Mickey that caused it. He was in the staff area. Then I put two and two together. There were more. Thankfully, it had hit 6 AM, and I left through an exit my team made that the suits couldn't access. I was out of there. However, I still had 4 more nights left to survive. I don't know how I'll cope with this. I'm really scared.